Hey guys, welcome back and welcome if you are new here. My name is Charissa. Today, as you can see by the title, I am going to be doing a TBR video. If you've been around for a while, you will have noticed I've never done one before. So I figured I would explain why I don't do TBR videos typically and why I'm doing one now and kind of just my thought process with reading and all of that. So to get started, if you watched my last vlog, you will know I'm currently in a reading slump. A really bad one, honestly. I just have not been wanting to pick up anything. I have not been wanting to read anything, which is really sad. I think a big part of that, if you watched my last reading wrap up, the books I read in April were pretty rough. I did not love I don't think I liked any books from April. It was like 2-3 star ratings. Like it was low. It was pretty bad. So that was a bummer, and I think that's what's got me into a reading slump. I know a lot of people, if they read a really good book, then they're in a reading slump because nothing's gonna live up to that. Whereas for me right now, I've read so many bad books that I just have not liked at all. Like we're talking like 6, 7 or more books in a row. And it's just like, I'm just shot. I'm just done. I'm like, I don't want to read anything anymore. So that brought me to today's video of a TBR of what I'm wanting to do, because I'm wanting to reread books. Now, I do want to get into why I don't typically do TBR videos, mostly because I'm a mood reader. I just go with the flow. I don't like to have like a strict list of books that I'm going to read next. And because I'm such a mood reader, I could sit and make a TBR video for you guys and I wouldn't stick to it. I wouldn't at all. And so then when I would do my wrap-ups, it would make no sense because I probably wouldn't read anything on that list. So I just have books generally in the back of my mind that I would like to eventually get to. If you can see right here behind me, this stack of books, the whole bottom half of that is like my current TBR of books I've recently bought that I should be reading. I also have other books that were gifted to me that I should be reading that I got like back at Christmas, and I just haven't gotten to them because that's how I am as a reader. I'm just a mood reader, have to be in the mood for it or I can't read it. So with both of those things being said, I feel like I'm a little all over the place, and I'm sorry if I am. I'm just kind of like trying to like find the right way to express how I'm feeling. But when I did my bookshelf tour, I realized there's so many books on my bookshelf that I own and have owned for a long time and have read and loved that I want to reread. And I think that could potentially help me get out of the reading slump, is to reread books that I know I love, or books that I vaguely remember liking and were good, but I don't remember the story at all. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm on a book buying ban. I'm gonna buy books that I've read, and if I love them, I'll buy them. But I'm not buying any new books that I haven't read first, because I feel like I've wasted money a little bit on some books that I've bought that I just did not enjoy at all and wish I hadn't bought, and I read them too late after buying them that I couldn't even return them. And a lot of books I would do that if I could have, but so I just figured, I'm like, I'm just going to show you my TBR of books that I want to reread, because I feel like if I stick to this TBR, like I don't normally do, but if I stick to this, I feel like it could get me back into loving books, because like I know I love these books. I know they're great. Like when I reread Hunger Games, I was on a roll. I was like, I want to read everything. I love reading. I love stories. I love the characters, and like I want to fall in love with characters. And so I was just like raring to just read books. Gonna try and use that strategy, try and use that as a springboard of like, let's reread something old that I know I love and things that I kind of remember loving. Hopefully this all makes sense, what I've said. It probably doesn't, but like I said, I'm just trying to like explain it, but even I don't really understand it myself. So, you know, the last few days I have picked up a book from this TBR list and I've been reading it and I've been loving it. So that book is Twilight. I just kept staring at it on the bookshelf and I was like, I really want to reread Twilight. I haven't read the first Twilight book since 14? Like, so we're talking 16, 17 years ago. Like, it's been a long time since I've read this book. I'm craving that nostalgic. I just love reading. And this, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant, okay? I'm going on a rant. I am currently sick of YA books these days. I read YA for a reason. I like clean books. I do not like spice. I do not like vulgar descriptions of things. I do not like too much language. Some language I can handle, but if it's like constant, I don't like it. I don't enjoy the book when it's like that. And that's why I stick with YA, because it typically is much more clean. It's closed door, so if there is anything happening in the story, you're not getting all of those details that I personally just don't want to read. Every single new YA book that I have bought has been so, I'm just going to say it, and I'm sorry if it's offensive, but just trashy. And I'm just like, my mind is blown that this is allowed to be marketed as YA. Because I know for me, I have a toddler, and I know he's not gonna be reading any of the books that I like, but if I had a little girl and she was reading some of these books and she was 12, 13, 14, or even a little bit older, and she was reading these books, I would be horrified. I wouldn't allow it, because I'm just like, I'm sorry, that's just, you're going too far. It's too far. And I also will always say that books need ratings because that's also very helpful, because you don't know what level it's gonna be until you get into the book. I'm so sorry. I'm very passionate about this right now, apparently, because it's just been frustrating, and I just keep thinking, oh, I'm gonna love this book, and then I don't, or just something happens, and it's just like shocking. And I just feel like someone's got to say it, that if you want to have your spicy books and you want to have that, and that's what you're into, great, but market it for the correct age range, I think, because I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, I guess YA can be up to 17, 18, 19, I guess would still kind of be a YA age range. So I guess a little bit older, it's not quite so shocking, but I'm back to like having a rating on books. I just really wish, like movies do, that they had that. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I'm ranting so much. So all of that, gosh, I'm so sorry guys, but I feel like it just needed to be said. I needed to get it off my chest because that's how I've been feeling lately, and that's why I'm also in a slump. That's why I picked up Twilight. So I'm halfway through this book, and there might be a curse word in here at some point, but so far there hasn't been one. And topics that they're talking about are not disgustingly detailed or inappropriate. Like, it's just clean, it's just refreshing. And yeah, it's about vampires, but I'm okay with that. So I'm loving this. I'm loving reading this, and just, it feels like a breath of fresh air. And I'm just like, it's just a love story. It's just two people, a human girl and a vampire, falling in love. And I love that. And it's just, that's what I want. I just want simple. I want sweet and fun and nice, which is so funny that I'm describing Twilight as that, because I feel like people would probably see that as like a dark book, but you know what I mean. Hopefully you know what I mean. And I really don't want to offend anyone with what I'm saying, but it's just how I'm feeling right now, and it's just my opinion, completely my opinion. People can feel differently if they want to, but that's just where I'm at. So that is the first book on my TBR list. Of course, after, I'm gonna want to go into New Moon, which is my favorite book in the series, though I haven't read the whole series from beginning to end since I was 13, 14. I did also really love Eclipse, because you see Jacob more. I do know there are some more mature scenes in these books towards the end after they get married, so I know it's not completely, like, I still probably wouldn't let my really young daughter read them, but when she was older, I'd be okay with it because it's not too much, if that makes sense. So these are the books next on my list because I know I love them. I haven't read them forever, so it's been long enough that I don't fully remember every little detail. Now that I've kind of gotten Twilight out of the way and my rant out of the way, that was a full-on rant, guys, and I'm sorry again, but so from here on out, no more ranting. I'm just gonna talk about the books I love and that I want to reread. I think next I want to try and reread Daughter of the Pirate King. I also have the second book in the series. I got these in an Owl Crate box 1.5 million years ago. I've been seeing it kind of pop up recently again on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all of that. So I'm kind of curious to reread them because I think I liked it, but I can't remember how I felt about it and like the rating on it and all that. So I definitely want to try and reread these, see if I like them or not, because I honestly don't remember. One that I do remember and I do love, but it's been long enough that I can reread them and it feel fresh and new, is the Naturals series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So this is the same author that wrote the Inheritance games. I love her and I love her writing style. I love her mysteries and just how she writes. And I know that Inheritance Games is huge right now. I read all of them. I really did enjoy them. These are, I think, better. I want to reread them and remember. So this is about a group of teenagers who get together and they work for the FBI in cracking different cases, I think cold cases that they have, and all of them are like especially gifted. It comes naturally to them, and they're so talented, and they can't officially work for the FBI because they're underage, but they still need their help, and they kind of want to train them as well. And so it's just really good, and it's a whole series. I think there's 4 books in the series, and there's like the main girl's mom disappears and like it's never heard from again, and so she kind of wants to try and find her and like utilize working for the FBI and doing that. And there's like just serial killers involved and like tracking how that serial killer thinks, and the story just like really unfolds, and it's like so detailed. And I remember even being just like, I couldn't even grasp what I was reading because it was so smart of a book. And this was a long time ago, so that's why I want to reread it now that I'm older and see like, do I understand it better? Do I get it better? And it was just a great story. Of course, there's a love triangle because that's what was popular when this book came out. If you liked inheritance games, pick this up and try these because they're really good. I've loved them for so long. Then after that, I have a couple that I do not remember reading at all. I don't remember the story really at all, but they look interesting, and I kind of very vaguely remember feeling like I liked them. First one is just a standalone general fiction, My Life with the Walter Boys. Her parents unfortunately die in an accident, and she has new guardians across, I think, the country, and it's the Walters, and they have 12 sons. Actually, I think on the book they have 11 sons, but then there's one girl who's very much a tomboy. So the main character counts her as a brother. She's just thrown into chaos. She's a perfectionist. She likes everything in order. She likes everything planned out and just so. And then being thrown into this family of 12 boys. I want to check that out and reread it and see if I like it. There is, I think, like kind of a love triangle, which is a little weird. There's a love triangle between brothers, but the 2 oldest brothers, it's not all 12 of them. I think it's the 2 oldest brothers. So anyway, and then the last one on the list for right now, Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. This one I think is about Ursula and how she became Ursula, because I think like she starts out as a human but then is like cursed, and that's how she gets angry and becomes the villain and stuff in Little Mermaid, which I love. I love a villain's backstory. It's one of my favorite types of books to read. So good. That's what I think it's about. I could be completely off, and I am so sorry, and just comment down below and be like, you're an idiot. That's completely wrong. But from what I remember, I think that's what it's about. And it was a really cool concept, and it just was different. And the cover's cool. I love that cover. Oh, that's kind of what I have right now. Like I said, I have this whole stack back here that I need to get to at some point, that I really need to read, but I just knew what I know and what I love. Hopefully that'll get me out of the slump, into loving books again. I'm sorry that I did go on such a rant in the beginning, but it's just really how I'm feeling right now, and it's just been frustrating for me and difficult for me because everyone has their own style of books that they're into and their own genre that they really enjoy. And like I said, some people enjoy those other kinds of books, but that's just for my personality, for who I am, for my life. That's not for me. And so when you keep reading books that people everywhere are recommending to you, and this is a great book, and this is a great book, and you're hearing everyone rave about these books, and then you pick it up and you read it, and one, it's just not my scene, not how I like books, or even just simply boring. Like, I've had quite a few books that I was like, this is like, I don't know what the hype is about because it's not that great. So I think that's kind of where I'm at, where I don't want to be taking so much everybody else's opinions and just read books based off of their review, because I'm not them. I don't like what they like, and they probably don't like what I like. Sometimes it crosses over. It's like Sarah Corelli. My gosh, she has recommended some awesome books that I love, but she's also recommended some books that I don't love. And that's just how it is. That's just how reading is. You never know. It's like movies and music. Everybody's different. Everybody has very different tastes. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Again, I'm so sorry. But if you guys stayed to the end of this very chaotic and crazy TBR video, thank you. Definitely appreciate it. This is just me, very much myself, just being myself and being very honest with you guys of how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, my crazy hands. I'm sorry, I'm Italian, so I talk with my hands so much. I can't control it. But If you did by some crazy chance enjoy this video, then of course like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you guys next week on Friday in my next video. Bye!
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down.